So the general trajectory here looks inevitable, right? We're going to experience, really looks like we're going to experience the shift towards low carbon, more distributed electricity generation, energy efficiency. And that's going to be facilitated by a reduced cost of storage, reduced cost of distributed generation like rooftop solar, and active demand management. Now, whether or not this new landscape, this technological landscape, will be operated by utilities as we know them now, or communities, co ops, or individuals who may have defected, is really an open question that no one has an answer to. But it's worth thinking about which would be the cheapest path to get to 100% renewable energy, right? Is it going to be cheaper to get to 100% renewable energy if utilities own everything and we're still relying on these centralized, large scale, production of electricity? For example, massive solar farms that are interconnected via high voltage transmission, or would it be cheapest to have individual customers own their own solar and batteries and be less reliant on the types of large scale interconnected infrastructure that have really defined the history of the electric power industry up until now? And there's a lot of debate about this. Another source of great uncertainty is the timing of these changes. And unfortunately, the timing is a really big deal, right? It's exciting to talk about the shift towards renewable energy. It's exciting to talk about more responsive demand and energy storage, facilitating deeper and deeper penetration of renewable energy. It's exciting in some cases to talk about the utility death spiral, moving away from these slow moving, somewhat, conservative, not necessarily socially, but in terms of changing technologies, utilities, right? That are sort of beholden to shareholders and can't change quickly due to, in many cases, financial inertia and being afraid of asset stranding. Um, the reality is that moving to decarbonizing the electric power sector needs to happen really quickly in order to do something meaningful about climate change. So what that means is that the utility death spiral, while it's kind of fun to talk about, is not a good substitute for comprehensive action on climate change, right? We could think about it as this sort of option of last resort if we can't get a cap and trade policy or carbon tax or some sort of coordinated comprehensive action on carbon emissions. But we don't have time to wait for the utility death spiral to unfold. And the reality is that energy, especially the electric power industry, is only one piece of the puzzle, right? So even if the utility death spiral did come to fruition over the next 15, 20 years, and it eliminated, carbon emissions from the electric power industry, we will have only gotten 25% of the way towards the goal of getting to zero carbon emissions, which is what is going to be required, at least over the next 50 years, in order to do something meaningful to mitigate the worst effects of climate change. So that's it for today. Next time, we're going to talk about fossil fuel divestment, and reading 10 is posted.